going. Luis Perez and company, 67 total yards in the first half.
Now St. Louis gets to go right back out offensively. And Bob's right. I mean, it really was, you know, a couple of plays. That defense had been playing incredibly well this year, and even in this ball game outside of those 2 snaps, and we'll see if they can come back out here and put some pressure on Max Duggan.
Well, the last 2 series are the only 2 series that St. Louis put up points, but it's been enough.
One of the things they got going to and got a little bit late in that half, Brock, were those quick completions for Max Duggan. In particular,
one of the other points of emphasis in talking to the Arlington defensive coaches, they do not want their edges to attack. Felt like they were just got to be holding the edge better.
Play fake. Looking for Butler. Good coverage there in the secondary made by Chris Claybrooks.
Well, they, for the most part, had great coverage on Butler outside of the 1 ball that he was able to catch for a touchdown. And here's Chris Claybrooks on the outside, number 2. He's only 5'8", so he's given up a ton of size, but look at the physicality and does a great job of getting on top of the route and then turning back to the ball. That is textbook defense out there at corner.
Butler's been targeted 6 times, has that 1 catch, but it's for a touchdown. Duggan up top again. Overthrows Darby, incomplete, and Frank Darby had a step or 2.
They had the protection all lined up, and right here Darby is going to be running across the formation, and he is wide open, and Duggan just puts a little too much air on this one. Brock, it looked like Darby actually slowed down just a touch in the middle of his route.
But I love those calls coming out of halftime. You heard Anthony Beck going in. Wanted to be aggressive, wanted to step on it. Man, I love taking 2 shots out the gate. Just couldn't hit either.
Need to convert here on 3rd and 10. Duggan wrapped up, no shot to even throw it. Willie Taylor, 2nd sack of the night for him.
Boy, he's been excellent. As you said, 2nd sack, but there's been multiple times when Taylor has gotten pressure back there. Number 50 has been a nightmare on this new right tackle, Bradley Ashmore. Number 70, 2nd sack of the night. Duggan goes down, and Arlington comes out of halftime. And like you said, Brock, you know, they felt like they were playing well defensively, and that shows up here on the first series.
And they get what they needed, a defensive stop. And they're going to get the ball back. Less than 2 minutes of game clock ran off for St. Louis to start the second half. Jaden Price. And it should be pretty good starting field position as well. Willie Taylor and the defense trying to help out the offense. They want to see if they can get something going here as they open up the second half. 42 came on the opening possession.
They've got to find a way to slow down the pass rush. The quickest way to do that, find success on first down. Stay on schedule within these set of downs.
They'll start from the 37. Perez zips it through Javante Payton. And that's one way to start out to the 45 of St. Louis. A big 17-yard gain on first down.
Boy, I love what they do here because this is just a little quick RPO. So you've got the back going across right here, and Perez can either hand that ball off or he can throw that slant behind him, and the ball's out of his hands quickly. That's something that they need to do after that pass rush really devastated their offense in the second quarter. St. Louis had pinned their ears back. They need to get the ball out of Perez's hands quickly and find success on first down. They do both of those things there on the first snap.
They hand it off Balaj. Nowhere to run. St. Louis wraps him up. Flag down on the play.
Hey, holding you, Peter. Number 65. They may want to decline this.
Balaj a little shaken up.
Find out if they want to decline it. You want to take it back?
Hold up, just give me a second.
Okay. Holding. Offense, number 65. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That's the 3rd penalty tonight on the left guard, Marcus Minor.
Yeah, and those penalties have just So frustrating for Bob Stoops. Let's take a look and see where Balaj got banged up here at the end of the run, and you can see he just gets hit on that left side, and he was reaching for that left arm and shoulder, and that's what they're working on.
And you can see him biting down on a towel as they try and shift it. Dede Hunter stopped. Travis Feeney wraps him up, and Balaj still being attended to.
Yeah, that does not look good. No. They're definitely checking out that left shoulder, and you can tell Balaj is in a ton of pain. He came into tonight's ball game leading the UFL with 55 yards per game. He had 56 attempts on the season. This is a guy that they rely on, and they were going to need, in particular in this half, again, to slow down that pass rush. Try to get some run game going on first down and avoid these situations, Kurt. Second and forever.
18 officially. And that one caught. Tyler Vaughn's right across midfield, but it'll be 3rd down and maybe not forever, but a long way to go.
Yeah, Brock, I like what they're doing here, though. They have gone to these slants to take advantage of that soft coverage and get the ball out quickly.
Yeah, I asked Luis there at halftime, hey, man, 6 knockdowns, 2 sacks. What's the adjustment? And it was get the ball out and move the pocket. So I don't think you move the pocket here, Joel, on 3rd and 12, but that clock, and for a veteran quarterback, he got to know this ball's got to come out.
And the St. Louis crowd has been a factor. Pressure coming. Perez, that is picked off. Intercepted by Chris Payton-Jones. This last quarter plus this St. Louis defense has taken over.
We can't do that.
A frustrated Luis Perez throws the pick. Second turnover of the game. And St. Louis is back in less than 100 yards. And now they've got it from the 47-yard line. Jarvian Howard, his first touch of the night. Cuts it back inside, falls forward for 2 yards on the pickup. Comes in to give Jacob Sailors a little breather.
I know this is frustrating for an Arlington team that, you know, has hung 30 on the scoreboard the last couple of weeks. And they came in here and felt good about themselves offensively. And even in the first couple of drives, they had moved the football, gotten into scoring territory, didn't get much out of it. And here they are and haven't scored anything. And now this defense back on the field.
They blitz. And they get there. Price, the cornerback, came around on the blitz. Balaj going to the locker room, so their offense may have to do without him the rest of the night, meaning this defense has a little more pressure on it.
Yeah, and Price has been all over the place tonight. He's been excellent in coverage. Came in second on the team in pass breakups tonight. This is a defense that largely, I think, has been the best defense in the league. They're terrific on 3rd down, second best scoring defense in the league. They came into the last week giving up only 10 points per game and then gave up 37 to DC kind of out of nowhere.
Duggan on 3rd and long. Wind up and broken up. Price. How many times have we called his name doing that? Getting a sack on the previous play. He has been their defensive star tonight. Yeah, he really has. And I know he gave up the touchdown, but he's been excellent outside of that snap. And another 4th down. And Brock, this St. Louis team unable to take advantage of the turnover from their defense.
Joel, am I reading this right? 71 career games at North Dakota State for Price?
Yes.
71 career games
Is that
in college?
even possible? That's got to be like a medical year, a COVID year, and a normal redshirt year.
And now he's back to return punts. And that one goes into the end zone. So Price gets a chance to catch his breath for a little bit here. As he'll get a chance to go to the sideline while his offense takes over, in large part because of the way he's played on D tonight.
Got 18 instead of a hinge.
Oh, frustrating night for this offense for Arlington. You can see that opening quarter, the opening drive, in fact, they had 42 yards, and since then, pretty much nothing. Last 4 drives, 3 plays, 3 plays, 3 plays, 4 plays. Trying to get some type of rhythm going here in the 3rd. Perez forced to bring it down. He gets it to Day Hunter. And Hunter with a good run after the catch. Got to gain 14.
I mean, how about the adjustment from Perez here? You know, as he comes off of this, it's a bit of a play action, almost a fake half roll, and then he's going to come back, and then he's going to try to throw that ball back over to the left side, but he has to pull that down and then find his back Day Hunter, who was behind the offensive line at that point. And then Hunter's able to take it up past the line to gain for a first down.
Get up, 180.
He wants to challenge him.
All right, I'll go make sure. Hey, maybe I think he's challenging an ineligible downfield player, and you're challenging for an ineligible downfield player. Lineman was downfield. Okay. Coach, do you have a number? Do you have a number?
What?
Do you have a number of who it was?
What number?
Or position?
60. We have to give you a number. 65.
Or position? 65.
Lineman. The lineman.
Well, left guard, right guard.
65.
65 is what he's challenging. Okay. St. Louis is challenging ineligible player downfield number 65. The play is under video review.
All right, so you get 3 yards in the UFL, so I want you to pay attention to the 33-yard line. So at this point,
challenge because he's not winning. It's not a foul, so he loses the challenge.
This is Marcus Minor.
After review, there is no foul.
But he catches it behind the line of scrimmage.
Behind the line of scrimmage by rule, that is not a foul. St. Louis is charged a timeout and has no challenges remaining in the game.
So, you know, on the
First
screen
down,
pass, you can get down the field, and you can block. And so Mike, this was, you know, from Anthony's perspective there, a poor challenge from his box because of where that pass was caught, correct?
Yeah, it really is. I was very surprised to see the challenge because of the fact that this is the collegiate type of rule also that allows you to block downfield or be downfield before the pass is thrown, as long as that pass is touched behind the line of scrimmage. So it was actually a kind of quick decision for me.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Mike.
Oh, we got 9 seconds.
You can see
start going.
Coach Beck was relying on his booth when they asked him the number, and he's asking upstairs, who'd you see? So that call totally made by his assistants up above him, and it was the wrong challenge in that moment. So no penalty. Arlington
Bull, here we go.
from the 41. Or excuse me, 39, pardon me. And whistles blow before the snap.
What happened?
Oh, correct. You're right.
What is going on?
I got 59. I got 59.
happened?
79. 53.
What's going on?
I think there's some
Please reset the
confusion.
game clock to 7:53 seconds.
I was going to say, with the game clock.
It'll start on that.
Wait, what happened?
And reset the play clock to 25 seconds. Thank you.
So they're putting time back on the clock, getting things straightened out after I think they were discussing whether or not that was a penalty previously. So we're all set.
Hey, let's go. Pistol,
I'm
Trey Wright,
surprised that they challenged that anyway.
Z goes. Until ready.
First down call.
Yeah.
You know, I understand on 3rd downs, when you can get a possession, you can steal the ball back, or on scoring plays, you save that for late. But both coaches using challenges in this ball game and losing those challenges, so each coach no super challenge for the remainder of the night.
Isaiah Mack wrapping up Day Hunter on first down, and you know, also back in their own territory. You got a 9-0 lead. It was interesting.
Yeah, and Brock, here's what's fascinating to me is Coach Becht has been, I would say, as good as anybody in the league at using his super challenge and relying on the booth, but I didn't understand that timing.
Hurry up, hurry up.
Yeah, and I probably don't want to be the booth guy after the game.
Yeah, that's right, because he's still stewing over there. He's still upset.
Little pitch, Javante Payton, and he goes nowhere. Good job by Callahan O'Reilly, and it's 3rd down.
3 Dixie right, H Buzz, 50 Z snag, F choice. 3 Dixie right, H Buzz, 50 Z snag, F choice.
3 Dixie right. 51. D-snag, F-choice. Onto ready. Hey, buzz. D-snag. Let's go. Get set.
They get it off. Good pass and a first down made by Arlington. Deontay Burnett. And there is another flag.
Personal foul, face mask, number 65.
Offense or
Face mask, number 65.
So the pass plays, we're going to go from the previous spot. Yeah. Okay. Personal foul, face mask, offense number 65. Penalty enforced in the previous spot. Repeat, 3rd down.
Arlington has 8 penalties tonight. 4 of them are on Marcus Minor.
Yeah, so here's 65 Marcus Minor as the left guard. And you can see the hand is up in the face, and then it just stays there the entire time. And he's got a big left hand full of that face mask of Chris Garrett, number 48. And they had the perfect play on, and it was executed. 4 penalties now on Minor. That one negates a first down and puts them way behind the chains at 3rd and 20.
Triple left, X move, halfback sting. Onto ready.
You said you wouldn't want to be a booth guy for St. Louis. How'd you like to be Marcus Minor for Arlington?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
3rd, a long way to go. Little dump pass. Hunter, and he won't even get back to the line of scrimmage. O'Reilly tackles him. And another stop for this St. Louis D.
Oh, my goodness.
Costly penalty on Minor.
And Arlington is going to come back. And Brock, we talk about this with them every time that we get on these production calls with Bob Stoops and Luis Perez. They talk about self-inflicted wounds. And this has just been more of that tonight.
Yep. Blake Jackson going to watch that one roll down to the 10-yard line. There's a flag on the play, so let's hold on.
Hold it, number 49. All right, so we can do that previous because it was before. No, we tacked that one on. Back on the kick.
I think they're going to decline. You can't do that.
No, it will be 4th and Lewis. We either take the ball down there or we.
Holding on Arlington.
If you want to re-kick, it's a 10-yard penalty. You can re-kick. Yeah, okay. Prior to the kick, holding, offense number 49. The penalty is 10 yards from the previous spot. Repeat, 4th down.
That's on the long snapper Ortiz, and they go backwards.
Nothing's going right for Arlington.
No.
Absolutely nothing.
Not since about the 4th or 5th play of this game.
Yeah,
they started off well, and after that, it was penalties, turnovers, and just unforced errors.
Yeah, and as soon as they do anything well, offensively I'm speaking of, immediately they shoot themselves in the foot with a costly penalty, and now they're all the way backed up inside their own 20.
Marquette King going to punt from inside his 10. He is hit as he punts, and that will draw a flag. Blake Jackson. The problem is
roughing 85. I agree. 15 previous auto. Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. Receiving team number 85. 15-yard from the previous spot includes an automatic first down.
There you go. As I said, the question was, will it be running into or roughing? And they call roughing.
Well, always look at the plant leg. So does Marquette King have an opportunity to get the plant leg? No, that's right into his plant leg. I mean, that is a terrific call by the official, and I have no idea what they are trying to achieve there.
It's Jerome Cap.
Cap just launches himself right into the leg, and now it's first down Arlington. You talk about just a series of errors, a comedy of errors from both teams here in the last 5 snaps. It was 4th and 30. And they're going to get good field position. There's no reason to try for a block in that situation. Brock, am I taking crazy pills right now? Why would you try to block that punt?
Can't. As Mike Singletary would say, can't win with them. Can't have it.
Can't do it.
Well, we can see what happened as Jerome Cap had that Fox Vision camera on. Now the ball's at the 34. Arlington, a new life. Nowhere for Day Hunter to run. Willie Harvey there to wrap him up. But if you're Arlington, you got to feel like you've been given another opportunity here, a second chance.
You know, there are times, and Brock, I'm sure you'll back me up on this. There's times when you're in a practice and a coach just says, like, start the whole practice over. That's kind of what this feels like right now, Brock.
Perez, not the most fleet of foot, and shows it.
And having said all of that, boys, this is a one-score game.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
That's exactly right. And Arlington has things that can work offensively. Kurt, on that last series before the penalty to Minor, they've got these inside breaking slant routes from the slot receivers. We've seen some slants from the outside receivers. These in-breaking routes, quick throws from Perez, they are there. St. Louis ran man coverage on the last third down. Looks like they're going to sit in a soft zone here.
Did the play clock run out before they snapped it?
At a delay before you have anything, it's a false start. So the delay of game takes precedent, right? Okay. Prior to a snap, delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
Bob Stoops, he's incredulous.
Bob needs some Pepto-Bismol right now.
Hey.
Or tequila.
Right tight. Hit.
One or the other.
Everyone, Daytona.
We got to go one way or the other. That's true. Wow.
Hey, 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 hey.
I mean, they're not even giving themselves an opportunity right now.
No.
Hey.
Driving themselves off a cliff.
As Brock said, though, they can get a first down and get something going. It's still a one-score game. And movement on the right side again.
Oh, boy.
False start. Offense number 59. 5-yard penalty. And third down.
Hey, you know, Kurt, you and I did a bunch of preseason Seahawks games in the heyday of the Super Bowl years. And I am just telling you, this is what can happen in venues like this, where the wheels come off and it is really hard to put them back on, because all you've done now is absolutely activate this home crowd.
Does it get inside your head as a player after a while?
Oh, 100%. 100%. You can't focus on any details. You just want to go back over to the sideline at this point.
3rd and 17. Perez on the run, and it is caught by Burnett. Where's the spot? Forward progress looked like he had made it, but we'll see where they put the ball.
This is an excellent find by Luis Perez. You know, sometimes you just need somebody to come step up and make a play. And watch Perez as he's going to scoot up into the pocket. Great pocket awareness. And then on the run, he finds the open wide receiver, and that's Deontay Burnett, and they stay on the field. There's the line to gain, was about the, what was it, the 44, and he caught it right about the 45-yard line.
Timeout. The coach. Arlington has called their timeout.
Arlington used.
Listen, I know it was an odd time for a timeout, you know, Brock, but I don't dislike the timeout there, just to reset, because it was going really bad until Perez found Burnett, and now they get a chance to reset, and the crowd quiets down just a little bit. So a nice timeout there from Bob Stoops.
Play fake. Day Hunter out of the backfield. First down and more as he runs down the sideline, showing his speed. The little scat back, picking up good yardage, good enough for 25.
Yeah, nice job here as Perez is getting a little bit more time. You know, the pressure in the second quarter was immense. Now they're going to these little play-action passes, trying to freeze the linebackers and defensive ends. And then you can see from the drone cam, which is just a really sweet look, Day Hunter getting down the field.
Longest play of the night for Arlington on offense. Burnett drops it incomplete. Got a little smoke on it.
This is a really important series now, because now all of a sudden you're inching towards the fourth quarter. I know it's a one-possession game, but nothing's gone right. Now all of a sudden there's just this sliver of momentum for Arlington on this offensive series. And so these next two snaps are really important for Luis Perez and this Renegades team.
What's it on?
From the pocket. Hunter out of the backfield again. No running room. Turned around. There's nothing but blue shirts. Lucas Dennis finishes him off.
Let's go tempo. Tempo. Let's go triple right at the line. Triple right at the line. Triple right at the line.
ATL. ATL. Triple ATL. ATL. Over here, over here, over here. Turn, what's it on? Hey. Hey. Two. Hey, over here. 63. Turn, what's it on?
Perez wrapped up and gets it off. Not nearly enough for a first down. Dede Hunter makes the catch. But more pressure from St. Louis forces him to choke it down.
Yeah, you got pressure up the middle, around the edge. Tamu Paynow has been all over the field, and he has just been in the lap of Luis Perez all night long with this pressure, and now he forces a
penalty into points. Lucas Haversick missed from 44 yards on the opening possession. From 46 yards out, now right through. And Arlington is on the scoreboard for the first time. Today's game is sponsored by McDonald's and by T-Mobile, America's largest 5G network. And Max Duggan tonight, 5 of 16, 79 yards, a touchdown pass. It's also run for 51 yards.
Yeah, and you look at what Max is bringing to the table, and they got a couple of series going there, but we've talked about this release. Look at that long release. He gets that ball all the way down below his hip. If you go from the pad of the football right there, the trigger, to the release, that's 0.4 seconds. That might not seem like a lot, but if you're not bringing that ball down below your waist, you know, generally that ball from a pat trigger or from the time that you're going to go ahead and rear back to release it, it's under that 0.4. It's more like a 0.2. And that's why Max Duggan, he has to rely on anticipation more so than other quarterbacks, because the ball comes out just a little bit slower with that long release. Last thing I would say about that long release, and Brock, you and I have talked about it during the break, as we've got a flag here on that kickoff.
Return, illegal block in the back. Return team number 23. 10-yard penalty from the spot, from the end of the run, excuse me. It'll be first down, St. Louis.
Just as a quarterback, and you and I have been talking about this, Brock, is that when you do have that longer delivery, it changes speeds on the football, which we've seen tonight.
Yeah, it's a little bit, and you're the scratch golfer here, Joel, but it's a little bit like your wedge game, your short game. There's a reason you shorten it up to control it. You don't wind it way up to try to hit a little touch chip. It does complicate it and make it a little bit more challenging.
I'm supposed to shorten it up? Is that? Oh, now you just.
Yes.
Okay. All right. First down from the 10. A little confusion there on the play. Duggan tripped up in the backfield, going to lose 5 yards.
You know,
Janae Harris.
We heard from Brock after half about these ends. And against the run, what you're going to see from these ends is that they're just going to go up and they're just going to sit. And they're not going to collapse down. And because of that, it makes it a longer edge for the quarterback to try to get around in that RPO game. And on that play, I thought Chris Odom played that great. He doesn't have to make the tackle in order to make the play for the defense. He did his job and allows the linebackers to get out there and make a play.
Duggan being chased by Odom. Lowers his shoulder, gets out across the 15-yard line. They'll spot it right there on the 15. Gain of 10.
And this is another look. Brock, they're doing a great job here. Odom's on the edge, and he's just going to squeeze down, shoulder square to the line of scrimmage, and then he's there to make the play.
It's a big third down, boys. Really big.
Zach to X, Jen, or Zach to Jen left, 3 jet, wide Tennessee. I'm already.
By the way,
here we go.
you think about that penalty, and now this is a St. Louis team that's backed up. And so the field position could now work in Arlington's favor, which is exactly what we saw on the opposite side in the first half.
Looking for the 20. Pressure coming. Hit, balls out. Odom tries to pick it up. Eventually, Arlington recovers the fumble. Taco Charlton.
Well, what a series for Odom. Chris Odom there coming around the edge. He's also going to get Taco Charlton, like you said, Kurt, and Charlton comes around. There's that long delivery. See that ball way down below his waist, and as he gets hit, that ball comes loose. And that was Odom trying to pick it up. And then ultimately Arlington gets that ball. What a huge play. Brock, you said it right before that snap. And there's Charlton. You see the long delivery. So as it comes down below his waist, exactly what we've talked about, Brock. Now it's unsecured, and it comes out right at contact, and it's first down, Renegades.
And there's the hit by Charlton. And Summers officially scoops it up.
See, watch, the ball goes way down below his waist, but it takes that 0.4 seconds to actually be released. In that time, if you get hit, that ball is coming out. And Charlton did the damage.
First down, great field position, and he throws it away almost. Right into the hands of Nate Madors, who dropped it. I mean, that might have been a pick six, 95 yards.
I mean, there had to be some sort of a missed assignment along the way here, because Perez comes out, he fakes that run, and then he's trying to just dump that ball, and he just threw it right to the defender. Right to the defender. You can tell Isaiah Winstead looked back at him and like, where was that?
Let's go, gotta go.
Arlington must have 9 lives tonight. First carry of the game, Davion Smith, nowhere to go.
Their defense giving them a chance here. As you can hear in the player mics, Luis Perez still asking for flags. He's asking for a face mask.
Much to the chagrin of Anthony Becht, right?
Scatter, Dixie right. 51, bounce choice special. Onto ready. You got to hitch all the way to the right. Move.
From the 8-yard line, 3rd and goal. Down 6. Perez feeling the heat. Dalmo Paynu gets to him. Forces the incompletion, but his pressure was all the difference there.
Well, this pressure has been in the face of Perez all night long, and here they don't really need to do anything from a pressure perspective except for rush the 4 down linemen. And Tamu Pena, who's been all over Perez all night long, gets a first chance and then comes back after that and actually puts the pressure on him and gets him in the grasp as he's trying to get that ball away. Nowhere to go with the football, and we've seen this time and time again, by the way. This is exactly what Birmingham did to Arlington down in the red zone when they were on the road, and Birmingham ended up winning that ball game. Arlington doesn't have anywhere to go if they can't run the ball. Balaj is out with that shoulder injury. Perez can't run. He's immobile, and everyone just plays coverage and gets after it with their front 4.
Havlicek on to attempt it from 26 yards out. He gets it through. Back-to-back field goals by Lucas Havlicek, and it's a 3-point game. And now the pressure starts to swing. St. Louis has been in control here in the second half, but Arlington fighting back.
Place more command on the field leadership-wise.
Hold. Yeah.
Right now they need their defense to get a stop. Duggan. Caught. I mean, he turned to his left, and there was nowhere for him to go. Donald Payne eventually wrapped him up.
I'm not getting it.
And now a big 3rd down.
Yeah, and they've been late in the play clock all night long, and it's been a frustration for Duggan, and you could hear him calling over the sideline that he's not getting.
Right, 2 jet, Y seam, F snag. Don't worry.
Now on this play, he's got a little time at the line of scrimmage.
Set hot. Here you go, 5 out. Wide 80. Right side.
Pressure coming. Duggan winds, throws, and Jackson escapes for the first. Carter had him by the jersey, but couldn't hold on. 9 yards.
Well, when you get man-to-man coverage like this, you've got to have a guy that can make a play and get some separation. It is actually a little bit of a blitz here, and the safety comes down from that near side, and Jackson has a nice read and spins back to the inside. Gets away and gets the line to gain. It's a first down for St. Louis.
Set on. Here we go. Wide 80. Right side.
The first down of the half from the 45. Sailors into Arlington territory, gain of 8.
Sailors, he hasn't had a huge night.
Hey, dance,
but you get the sense, don't you, Kurt, that like his most important carries are ahead of him.
I was just about to say, it's getting to be that time you wonder if they don't lean on him.
Yep.
Set on. Wide 80. Right side.
Sailors out of the backfield. Caught by Jackson, a first down. Excuse me, that's Mims, Denzel Mims, the former Jet draft pick.
18 QT Force Bragg. Zach to Gunjinger right, 18 QT Force Bragg.
Here you go. Zach to X Jingle right, 18 QT Force Bragg. I'm already. Zach, here you go, 18 QT Force Bragg. Yep. Set up. Here we go, go Cold Wanda.
He had to call a timeout. You saw the play clock about to hit 0.
Nope. Timeout of the half.
Yeah.
It's 30 seconds in left.
Brock.
You know, Joel, you said something earlier, and I think this is really astute. We hear so much on the field once that ball is snapped about rhythm and timing, right? You do it as an analyst. I've done it as an analyst. There's a timing. There's a rhythm. There also is a rhythm to the play call, to the quarterback, to the huddle. And it just feels like really on both sides, but especially with Max making just his second start here. And you know how you can tell a veteran quarterback or somebody that's been in a system a long time, they will start to make the call to the huddle before the coordinator's even done.
Yep.
Like they know it, right? Like you just know it. Okay, double right, 2 jet, I got you. And you finish that, and those extra beats, those extra seconds, especially in this league, as this clock moves, is so critical. So I love your point about that rhythm and timing, play caller to quarterback, just as critical oftentimes is once the ball is snapped.
And remember, Phil McGagan, this is his first year calling plays, you know, and sometimes you get out of rhythm, and at times we've seen that tonight.
Here's Jacob Sailors trying to get around the corner, stays in bounds. Good job to keep the clock running.
Left, Y Queen, same 14 lead. Gun trips left, Y Queen, same 14 lead.
Here we go, fellas.
Come on, Max, make the call.
Yeah, exactly.
Gun
Let's go.
trips
That's 4
left,
seconds.
Y Queen, same 14 lead. I'm already.
I think you got to remember sometimes, too, that this is his second week starting.
Yeah.
Really his first time in almost 3 years since being drafted.
Wide 80.
Really didn't play other than in the preseason in the NFL. And Sailors
I guarantee you.
Go ahead, Brock.
Well, I guarantee you, if you were to listen to Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford.
Same 12 duo, Z fine. Gun double right close, same 12 duo, Z fine.
Play would be called right now.
Gun double right close, same 12 duo.
Yeah, it wouldn't be repeated, right? I mean, they just speak the same language.
That's right.
And you're absolutely right. This is just the second game that these two have had together starting and up in the booth. But that language and that vocab's got to be spoken faster.
Right 80, right side.
Needing a yard. Sailors hitting the backfield, helmets flying. Loss of a yard on the play and a 4th down coming.
You know, Anthony Becht has been aggressive this year on 4th down. You wonder if they're going to keep their offense on the field and try to bleed out some more clock. It looks like he's going to go field goal here as Rodrigo Blankenship will run onto the field.
Blankenship perfect on the season so far. And that 49-yarder earlier, this one from 53 out. And he remains perfect. And more importantly for St. Louis, makes it a 6-point lead. Whatever makes your Friday night enjoyable. We're going to the last 6.5 minutes of regulation. Luis Perez and company trying to get back on the scoreboard.
Do you like the pure milk chocolate, or do you like the almonds version?
You know, it depends on the mood.
Okay.
Most of the time, pure milk chocolate, but every now and then, sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. I know that's a different one.
That's right.
But that's the reality of it. Day Hunter going to be stopped at the 28-yard line.
You know, you think about that last decision from Anthony Beck to kick the field goal. We see the standings and just this massive game in the XFL division standings between Arlington and St. Louis, trying to keep pace with DC, who's been really the class of the league so far. But you go back to that choice. I think, guys, I think Anthony Beck believes that there's no chance Arlington's going to score a touchdown. So he put himself up 6, knowing that now at least a field goal or some sort of fluke completion that can lead to a field goal doesn't tie me in the end, and he's going to trust his defense to keep it out of the end zone.
He's been right so far. Hunter. And he's going to be the workhorse, it looks like, with Kalen Balaj out. We haven't seen him come back since he injured that shoulder.
Yeah, and at this point now, you got 6 minutes, you got a 6-point lead. And Bob Stoops, they need to find something. And nothing has really worked for them. In particular, early in the game, they were able to run the football. That was partly because Balaj was in the game. Now they don't have that. So this is going to be largely just on Perez. But they also have to make sure that they're protecting Perez with quick passes out of the backfield. They cannot have him sit back there and teed off on like he has been all night.
Here's Hunter dancing around, gets a first down. Good run by Hunter. Looked like he was going to be stopped for a loss. Instead, he gained 16.
Yeah, that jump cut in the backfield, that was pretty tremendous, Brock. The suddenness in the backfield to get away from Atamu Apenu, who was getting cracked back on by Canella.
And this is the answer. I mean, they're going to rush 4 and play 2 safeties, as Bob Stoops said at halftime. You've got to be able to run the ball. Right? If you can't run it against these looks with the 2 safeties, you can't run it against anybody.
Now they're dropping a safety down. Right after that run, here comes a safety down into the box.
And they throw right where he was. It's caught. Javante Payton. Ball came out, but he was down. 20 yards on the reception. Are they saying Nick Whiteside and St. Louis recovered?
Really on the field is a catch with a fumble recovered by the defense. First down, St. Louis.
Wow. We'll take another look at this because it looked like he was down.
Well, look at this now of what you've got for Arlington. You've got Javante Payton, and he is up, and that ball is certainly out, and he has taken a few steps. There is no doubt that that ball is out, and another huge play for this St. Louis defense.
Ontario Cole knocked it out. Whiteside recovered. And now Arlington got to call a timeout.
I thought we were good.
Timeout has been called by Arlington. It's their second of the half. It's 30 seconds in left.
Well, Whiteside gets the recovery, but like you said, the hit coming from Quinterio Cole, and that's the second time we've seen him with a big hit tonight. He had it earlier on a run play, and he comes up and just shoulder right on that football. And Javante Payton couldn't hold on. Look at that right shoulder right on the football. And it's another turnover for this defense. And this defense has been impressive, Brock. They've been flying around, and like you said, you know, Arlington needed to run the football. They drop the safety, they go to the RPO, and then the physical play in the back end.
Arlington 3 turnovers on offense, 11 penalties. If they lose this game, they'll know why. Sailors stays in bounds. Taco Charlton Making the stop. And there's Javante Payton, who dropped the ball.
14 sap. Loose right back.
Now, if you're St. Louis, you don't have to just run the football because of the clock rules in this league. Remember, even if there is an incompletion, the clock will start after the incompletion until we get to the last 2 minutes. So not necessarily as you would watch football in the fall at the college level or the NFL. You can throw the ball, get the RPO going with your quarterback.
That's Sailors. Clock takes us inside 4 minutes.
So what are you doing here, Joel? You just got 9 men in the box on that second down. You got a one-on-one once again with Akeem. Is this Will Howard, Ohio State, finish the national championship and throw that one-on-one outside?
I would absolutely throw this one to Butler. And the key has to be that this ball has to have air.
Butler goes inside on the left. Instead, intended for Sailors out of the backfield. Donald Payne knocked it down. And now it's 4th down.
Well, they're trying to get Sailors the ball out of the backfield, and he came in to tonight leading the team in catches. But this is just an outstanding play on the edge. You've got the outstretched arm of Willie Taylor. Look at this left. Oh, no, it wasn't Taylor. Yeah, that was a beautiful job on the interior by Donald Payne, who's flying out there to try to stop Sailors, and he tips that ball away.
Hoffrichter. And Price going to be wrapped up. Perez and the offense turn it over. It does not come back to bite them, but they got to start looking at the clock. Under 3 minutes left, down by a touch. It's gone right for Luis Perez and Arlington tonight, but they are still in it. 2:53 on the clock. 12-6. They've got the football and in charge of their destiny. Draw play. Day-Day Hunter bouncing off tacklers. And Hunter going to pick up 6 yards.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, these teams played and came down to a 4th and goal play in the final minute. And this Arlington team, this is what they do. Their games have become must-see TV. Their last 4 games have been decided in the final minutes. Week 2 against Houston, 11-9. Houston had a 2-point conversion fail in the final 2 minutes. Same thing with Birmingham. St. Louis, that was a big one, like I mentioned. DC last week. So they've been in this situation a bunch.
Hunter fights his way for the first down. Should take us to the 2-minute warning and what's an important game in the XFL Conference. The winner of this game will go to 4-2, which will put them at least in second place behind 4-1